Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing some budget-friendly Dollar Tree home decor DIYs, kind of Valentine's, kind of spring, but as always, change it up, use different patterns and colors that fit whatever you're wanting to do. But without anything further, let's get started with today's DIYs. First up, I'm using something that I have, well, a couple things that I've had in my stash for a very long time. Those are like, I don't know if they're called like the wiffle balls with the plastic balls. I believe they came in a pack of 3. I have more than 3, but I think they came in a pack of 3 from the Dollar Tree. And this is also some fabric I picked up from there a while back. And I saw this idea for like a ball filler, like for these ones are called rag balls, from Pinterest. I will link the person's post in my description box, although I didn't really follow her instructions per se. I just was using what I had on hand, but when I was just kind of scrolling through looking at home decor, I saw these and I thought they were really cute. They're kind of a little bit more, unfinished, so to speak. So I just took my fabric and cut them into strips. You just cut a little bit of it and then tear it, and that gives you this little like frayed edge, which I think is super cute. I then took some hot glue, and I'm not hot gluing the whole way around, just kind of, I don't know, wherever it feels like it needs it, beginning, end, somewhere in the middle, sometimes a couple more times than that. And I'm just kind of going opposite directions, and then we'll fill it in. Now with the hot glue, use a finger protector if you need to. I was actually surprised I didn't really need to for this. It didn't ooze at all, and it didn't like come through the fabric. So I didn't really need to, but I was pressing it out so that I didn't have any lumps of the hot glue. So while it was still warm, not only was I pressing in the fabric, but I was kind of flattening out the hot glue that was there. And I did different size strips of fabric. I kind of played around with it. I did make 3 of these all together, but I just kind of, I don't know, messed around with it until I had something that I really liked. And you don't want to have too much overlap because otherwise your ends, or like the 2 sides, I don't know how to describe it, the start and end of your fabric strips, you want to match up pretty nicely, not have a whole lot of overlap, which I didn't realize till I did the first one, because otherwise it ends up being more like egg-shaped instead of round-shaped. So hopefully you understand what I was saying. And I just think this is a really fun and inexpensive way to make some bowl filler. You could also just style them like by themselves on a shelf, like on top of a book or something. So many different pattern options. You could just use like canvas cloth or use a fun fabric for a pop of color. I just love this idea, and the unfinished edge of the fabric for these little rag balls I think is fun. I just have them in a bowl here. I'll show you them later, added in with something else that I'm also going to make in this video. But let me know what you think of these. We're going to make another bowl filler here. This is, I think, like a canvas cloth material, and I'm just going to use these wooden hearts from Hobby Lobby for a template. You could just print one off the computer or freehand it, whatever you want to do here. But that pack of hearts, by the way, I don't remember how many it came with, maybe like 4 of each size for $1.99, plus right now I think it's all 40 or 50% off. I picked them up last year when it was like 90% off or 75% off, something like that. Anyways, I am just going to trace out on our fabric some hearts, and I decided to just fold the fabric over because I'm going to need 2 sides for each of these, or 2 pieces for each of these, and this way I can cut them out at once. If you need to, you can use some straight pins to hold the fabric together, but this is a thicker fabric, and so it didn't really shift around on me much, so I was able to just kind of hold the 2 sides together while I cut out my hearts. And it was thicker material, but not so thick that I couldn't just use regular household scissors. And then I'm just going to flip the hearts like inside out so that I don't have to worry about any of the pen from when I traced the hearts showing. That's kind of why I did that. And I'm just going to use some hot glue, and I am using, I started out using a finger protector, but realized it wasn't coming through, and I didn't want to. I like to live on the edge. So I'm using just a little bit of hot glue around the edge of the heart to glue it mostly together. I am working on a silicone mat, so if any hot glue oozes out, I can just easily peel it off the mat. Protect your surface one way or the other. I want to go close to the edge because I don't want there to be a large seam on the outside. Of course, you could stitch this if you do that, but this is quicker and easier and fits within my skill level. I have these styrofoam white balls. I think I may have picked them up from Dollar Tree. I honestly can't remember. I've had them for a while. Thinking I could use them for Christmas, for snow, but they're just too big. They don't really work for any of my things. And I was ready to donate these. I was like, what am I going to do with these? I need to get rid of them. But then I was like, these make for a great little filler. So you can use cotton, like cotton balls, or even scrunched up tissues if you want to fill your heart. But I have these and they worked perfect for this. It's kind of like bean bags, but they're much lighter, which is why you see, I'm fighting with them. They're very light. Static cling is like a thing for these little styrofoam balls, but they really worked as a great filler. And then I'm just going to carefully finish closing it up. I got better with these as I went along because as I was squeezing the edges to seal them up, the little balls kind of popped back out of the opening. But like I said, you get the hang of it, and it's not hard to do at all. And I just think these are really cute. You could again use a little, like another pattern fabric if you want. I went for something a little bit more neutral here. These could be used for Valentine's Day, but they could also just be used in your regular decor. They don't have to be just for Valentine's Day, just because they're hearts. Like, right? Like we can have love in our home all the time, not just for Valentine's Day. I have these styled in a bowl with the rag balls that I had also made. And I think that the neutral kind of breaks up the color a little bit, but there's lots of ways you can use them. They're so fun, they're sweet, and it's just a nice little pop of Valentine's Day if you don't really want to decorate, tons of Valentines. Or for spring, the red and white checkered I think is a great spring pattern as well. I'm working on setting up and organizing my new craft room since we moved, and in that I'm also trying to craft my stash. These little pots come from Dollar Tree. They came in a pack of like 8 or 10, quite a few. And they're the ones you can actually, I don't remember what they're called, but you actually can plant in them. They're like a fabric-y type of material, like I think of like a biodegradable material. But I'm using them for a little spring DIY. And I did use some painter's tape to tape these off, although that's a little bit hard with a pot that narrows in at the bottom to get it straight. But I think I did pretty good. And I just went in with some white acrylic paint. I'm just trying to use up some of my acrylic paint. And then I went in with red, and I decided to just freehand the line here, and I did okay with it. I mixed 2 different reds together, just trying to get the right color that I liked. But do any colors you want. You could also just do that natural color of the pot and white. And I am going to do 3 of these. I guess I'm working in sets of 3 in this video. I didn't even really notice that. But I'm going to paint them all with the same colors, but with just slightly different patterns, I guess you could say. And this material does soak up the paint really well. So you may have to just, I don't think I did a second coat. I just went thick with the paint and then just did very carefully around the edge to get my line here rather than taping again. And I found that it worked just fine doing it this way. So tape it off if you want to, if that makes you feel better, or just freehand it, whatever you want. I did put a little bit of paint in the top inside just to disguise that a little bit if you'd be seeing it, but that's totally your call. But these sweet little planters, depending on the colors or patterns or design you do, you can use them all year round. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to do 3 of them with 3 different patterns. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. It's a simple way to help out my channel. Leave comments down below, even if it's just emoji, like you don't know what to say, leave an emoji. That's fine as well, but all those interactions help out my channel. So now I need to fill these, and I wanted to use some white rocks and some succulents from the Dollar Tree. I didn't have a ton of the white rocks, so I started out just using some other rocks that I had on hand, and we'll just use the white ones on top because I thought that would look prettier. But that's totally your call. I realized when I was organizing my craft space, which I'll be showing you that soon in a video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But I realized I had a lot of rocks on hand, so I need to do some more planter type DIYs, I guess. Anyway, these succulents are also from the Dollar Tree. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Just hit that notification bell after you do so you don't miss out on my future videos. All right, and that is this little set, this little trio of planters. I like that they are like the same but different. The red and white I think it's great for Valentine's Day and spring, summer. I just think it's a very versatile color palette. This next one is going to be a super simple project. I mean, they all pretty much are, but these wood heart pieces came in packs from Hobby Lobby. Great place to get little seasonal pieces. They really have good prices, good amounts in their packages. These are from two different packages, the solid and then the open ones. And I don't know, I just like finding that stuff at Hobby Lobby. It's always going to be, always pick it up when it's on sale. The white one, I'm just using some acrylic paint. Actually, I'm just using the same paints I've used in this video already. Some red paint that I mixed up and some white. And we're just going to do a little nod to Valentine's Day. Once again, I don't think hearts have to be just for Valentine's Day, but I had this little chalkboard easel sign from the Dollar Tree, and I thought this would be a great little filler piece. Some of these things would be really great on a tier tray. My tier tray is still not unpacked. I am still working to unpack my house since my move. We moved. I was a little bit sick, I think just from the move. Then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was Christmas, and then I've been struggling with a cold. And so, yeah. But this would be a great little piece on a tier tray, or kind of like on a shelf mixed in with other of your neutral everyday decor, maybe next to a photo frame of your family, something like that. I just thought this was a really simple piece. I liked the red and the white. You could also paint the frame of the easel if you wanted, but I decided to keep it the natural color. Totally your call. I did want to add a tiny little addition here. So I added a little small bow with this red and white twine, and I just made it's just a little itty bitty bow. Cut the tails down on that. I just thought this was a cute little piece for decorating, just kind of like an add-in piece with your other items. Let me know what you think about this one down below. This piece here is a wood piece from Dollar Tree that I previously have painted and stained. I did sand it down a little bit to get rid of some of that brown, but if you're looking for a piece like this in the store, it comes just natural wood color. It also had a hole in it, which I had filled in with some spackling, but I a lot of times redo some of my projects because I make so many of them, and so that's why this one was previously painted. I'm going to give a nice good coat of Mod Podge on the top of this, trying to not get it off on any of the edges. And then we're going to let that dry. And I found this pretty scrapbook paper in my stash. I'd used this for something for a baby shower gift, I think. Anyways, I had a little piece of left, and I'm just going to iron this on. I love the iron-on method for Mod Podge. You just let the Mod Podge dry, place your paper, and then a piece of parchment paper and an iron. I have a little mini heat press from HTV Ront, but you can also use your household iron. Just make sure you have no steam on it, and you just run that across, and the heat reactivates the Mod Podge, and it just sticks great. And then I use some sandpaper around the edges to sand it off. I do sometimes go in with the iron one more time, just to make in case I've not shifted anything, but pulled up anything while sanding, although it didn't at all with this time, but that's all right. I did it anyway. And then I have this love word, which I believe it either came from Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. And I just glued that on here. And I love the purples here. It is a nice spring color. You can use it for Valentine's Day, but I think that it's just different than the red or the pink, but definitely worthy of just spring decor, or maybe all year if you use purples in your decor. But I thought this was a fun piece. And of course, you can use any color patterns that you want on your project. This is another piece that I'm just repurposing and reusing, but this was one of those wood crates from the Dollar Tree that I had previously used and painted or stained. I am sanding off just a piece that was a little bit rough, and then we're going to go in with some white paint. I purposely used my acrylic paint here because I didn't want a solid coverage. Well, you can use acrylic paint anyway, it would just take more coats, but if I was going for a super solid coverage, I probably would have pulled out my Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to give this a good coat of white paint. I'm going to get into all the grooves, all the little slats, and I kind of did like 2 coats, but just kind of touched back up. It dried really quickly, and I would go back over some of the places as needed. I wanted some of that paint or stain to come through. You could also just sand it off if you wanted to get that rustic look. And then I have these transfers. These are like some scraps of some transfers, very beautiful, that a friend gave to me. I've had a few people give them to me, so I apologize if I can't remember who gave me what,
but I'm just using, well, I just used the wooden heart because that was nearby to transfer these pieces. And I love how it comes off in the slats of the wood crate. And I thought this was just really pretty. You're just going to pull up the transfer, and if it's not all transfer, just lay it back down in the same spot. That's why I don't pull it all up at once, and just keep rubbing on it. And I just thought that these transfers were really pretty. They are floral. They are a different color than just, this is more like a spring-like, but you can use it for Valentine's Day if you want. I'm going to cut off the piece that I left some of the transfer behind because I didn't want that to, transfer right here. And I'm just using the top sheet to burnish it, rub it in. I rubbed in the little slats to fold on any pieces. Anyways, I put these scraps of these transfers all around this. I thought about adding this Farm Fresh piece, but I decided in the end to just leave it empty. This could be used to just like gather little items. You put them on a shelf, put them by your front door. I'm also going to show them with the heart pieces that I made earlier if you want to use it that way for decor. But I think there's a lot of ways you can use this little crate, and the flowers make it really pretty for spring.
Well, that is going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new to my channel, and make sure your notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss out on my future videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.